That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And the fortunes say that Rick and Morty's comeback season is continuing because, Dragon, this I thought was another darn good episode. Season 6, Episode 5, Final DeSmithation. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. All right, Dragon, before we get into anything else, I just think we have to say right off the bat, it's going to be a whole episode wide. Jerry Watch 2022. Okay, Dragon, with that in mind, because obviously this is a big Jerry-centric episode, probably the biggest Jerry episode since Really Durly Conspiracy in Season 3. What did you think?
Yes, I mean, on the whole, I think the episode was very well done. Admittedly, a little bizarre, but despite that, the execution was flawless in the bizarre. And that's the thing. I adore the climax of this thing so much. But that said,
Season 6 has been really hitting the climaxes out of the park, I think.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, for sure. As far as the Jerry of it all goes, I mean, a part of me feels this season is like, we're gonna make those people that don't like Jerry kind of like Jerry. And I mean, I'm not there quite yet. I'm not, but I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the execution of the episode was so good it distracted from. Here's the thing, like until the very end, until after the climax and everything, it's like. And we have Wimpy Jerry getting hit, and he's like, it's that. But again, I don't know. Here's the thing. I love the Rick side of the Jerry thing. That's the thing. It's kind of throwing me for a loop because I love the idea that Rick hated that he was being bullied. I love that. That's fascinating to me. And that's the thing, because I mean, Jerry is somewhat justified in the paranoia here, which is a surprise to Rick. So I mean, I can't really be against Jerry, but I'm still not for Jerry. So I'm in kind of a weird. And it's an odd thing. It's less that I dislike Jerry in the episode. It's more I dislike Jerry's mother for being so doddering and oblivious in the situation.
Oh my god! So that's totally fair. That's totally fair.
It's like, really, you're not seeing any of this, really, lady? I mean, lady, you're in like an open, kind of like a weird three-way relationship of sorts, like around the holidays. How are you not picking up on this?
I feel like a lot of people, once they get to this episode, forget about that element of the character.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I don't think this is like my favorite episode of the season, but I do think this season has been just consistently pretty great across the board.
No, this might be my favorite. I'm not sure.
Really?
Of this, I mean,
praise.
I don't know of the season, because again, the climax is really I thought was just spectacularly edited. I mean, Night Family's been good.
Yeah, for me, I still think Night Family's probably my favorite of the season. Honestly, I just like how creepy that one got.
Our premiere was very strong, though, so it's kind of hard for me to say definitively. But I mean, so far, I mean, this one I think impressed me most of the bunch, at least. I don't know. Well, that's this episode.
We have a great cold open.
Yes, which by the way, we plant the seed for my favorite joke.
Oh God!
I tell you, man, because I watched this show and I did like it. I love the taxi joke so much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You watched Taxi, didn't
you? Yeah, I can't say I've really sat down.
Because I know you're
honestly.
I know you've heard the theme before, right?
Yeah, honestly, Dragon, the most I know about Taxi begins and ends with Man on the Moon.
That's what I'm saying. Because of that, you were familiar. At least you were familiar with the theme song because they had that montage in Man on the Moon where they have like Andy Kaufman being dissatisfied with Taxi as they're playing music.
Sure.
Anyway, so yes, we're at Panda Express, Tiki branding.
Yeah, everyone's most authentic Chinese cuisine experience, Dragon.
The only panda that counts.
I gotta say, in a pinch, at 10 p.m. at an airport, when I was on a 5-hour layover, and it was literally the only thing I had available, it was a pretty satisfying meal.
In a pinch at 10 p.m. in an airport.
I'm just saying, that's the one.
Put that on the poster right now.
Panda Express, and I'm like, you know what? In a pinch, yeah, this works.
In a pinch, 10 p.m. at the airport. Panda Express. is your option. Put that on the ad.
No, totally. Anyway.
Yeah, so of course we have the fortune cookies, and you have pretty generic fortunes like importance of family, yada yada, and then Jerry opens his tiki. And what does Jerry say?
You will have sex with your mother.
I love how just the episode kind of stops there. And everyone's like, "What?"
We have like the classic like fish lips.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Is that what they're officially called? Is that just what you call
I
them?
don't know what they're officially called. That's just the best way I can describe them.
I know, right? Because I don't know. I think I call them droopy lips. I don't know if I've never done the fish thing. The fish thing's accurate though. It's not bad. Let's see. So
I honestly thought some of the funniest stuff in the whole episode was like right at the beginning with just Jerry taking the thing too seriously and just the family making fun of him for it.
Do you think the Rick and Morty writers have like a weird incest hang-up?
Honestly, I think they have. I think they're very self-aware about how the incest baby thing came off.
Right?
And,
that has to be it, right?
Yeah.
That's gotta be okay. We did something. We really swung for the fences. I will say this in regards to the incest baby. It's so weird that we have to say that just out of context. But
yes.
Here's the thing, because the only incest baby you and I care about is Dylan Massett.
Oh my god!
But regardless, though, no seriousness. It does add a great deal of tension to the third act because we went there before. There's no way we're gonna.
I do agree. I was genuinely kind of on the edge of my seat.
Which I mean, it's so bizarre. We have to think about that now, but they did it.
Because if they went there, Dragon, that would be there's no going back from that. And they got just right up to the line.
Okay, this is gonna be a bizarre turn for the conversation, but
oh god.
I gotta admit, something does occur to me during that scene. So, in the midst of that scary scene, again, swirling fates and such, and obviously something you really don't want to have happen if you're in Jerry's shoes.
Is it fair to say that the Jerry side of that scene is like by far the most suspenseful part?
No, for sure it is. Yeah.
Which I think is great, given like the high stakes of the rest of it.
I'm going to try to be delicate about this. There is a physiological kind of plot hole there. In this scary scene, if Jerry were to make collision, logically, nothing would happen because he's scared and not scared. Unless we're suggesting that Jerry would be not scared.
Dragon, I think if the areas of interest make contact,
right,
whatsoever,
then you're saying he would not be scared as he should be.
No, I'm saying that. Oh God!
I know it's a very. It's trying to
physical contact, Dragon. That's the breaking point we need to hit, regardless of his state.
All right. Okay, I'm just saying for the Naruto.
Can we get off this conversation? Jesus Christ!
I didn't write the episode. Take it to the lady. Take it to the lady who wrote the episode. Okay.
Oh, man.
Anyway, focusing back.
Yeah.
All right. So, point being, the family bullies Jerry, which elicits sympathy from Rick for a change, and the fact that Rick is very, parenthetically, he's against that. You have the right to take whatever you want seriously. That's a really good philosophy for Rick Sanchez, I felt.
I genuinely really think this is going to be the beginning of, and I have thoughts on the ending of the episode too, like not the post credits, but the actual ending note with Jerry. I actually really like that scene. And I think it kind of cements, given the actual rules of the fortune cookie, I think it kind of cements the fact that like Jerry and Rick are actually friends now because, given the rules of the fortune, that friendship is genuine, thus Rick's loss of immortality.
Yeah.
So I do think that this episode is a status quo shift. And I think this is one of the really good things about this season is that I feel like we've been getting the best of both worlds. We've been getting really, really solid episodic high concept storytelling. But within that episodic storytelling, we've been advancing the character dynamics.
Yeah, subtly in places, but for sure, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't know. I just think the dichotomy of Jerry basically being the ultimate sad sack, and then Rick being kind of like on the opposite end of the coin is like this, almost omnipresent God type guy. I honestly think the pairing makes sense given their history. I think it makes sense that eventually they would come to an understanding,
Yeah.
like kind of like in an opposites attract kind of way.
It's interesting that that Rick's a little jealous of Jerry for like the whole like, what do you why is again thinking Jerry is really important here? Where no, it's not that Jerry's necessarily important. It's that Rick is immune to it because the fortune hasn't come true yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to go from here?
Taxi. The taxi theme getting love. I love it so much because one. No one ever talks about how great the taxi theme was because it really always. I mean, you listen to it now with this episode. How cool does it sound?
No, Dragon. It's a good piece of music. I don't know what else you want me to say.
No, I'm just saying I like that. I just like that it's kind of coming back in vogue, and they kind of obscure. You know what's cool? No one talk. You know what the kids should love? The taxi theme. How can we work that in? How can we work that in the episode?
It is the type of random thing that would be a TikTok trend, honestly.
Yeah. And so what we've done is we kind of had this amazingly brutal, and I love this when we have like good kind of. I like when we have cool old music playing over brutal or kind of poetic scenes or montages. So we did that here, where Rick's laying waste against the corrupt DEA entity, and we're like, of course, ultimately this misunderstanding. Like, you behind the cookies? You trying to take out our drug ring? What?
But
What?
I really love how pleasant both sides are once the misunderstanding is revealed.
Yeah.
I mean, the other side has taken on significant casualties, Dragon. Significant casualties.
But remember, they're dirty cops, so it's like, no, it's fine. Yeah, sure, yeah, we knew the risk, yeah.
To quote Linkara, Vicky, he's a dirty cop. You really can't shame him. I'm sorry, that episode is just drilled into my mind.
Yeah.
I literally fell asleep to that particular video.
Okay. I wonder how Linkara feels about that. Well, he's watching videos to put him to sleep. What's that say about my content?
Do you know how many freaking compilations Linkara uploads? I'm sure he's aware that a subset of this fandom does that. I'm sure he is.
I would say that'd give me a complex if I were Linkara. Like, are people being bored to sleep by me? What is?
No, it's honestly quite the opposite. I just find his voice very soothing.
What am I? My whale noises? Is that what I am now? Whale noises for this a-hole? Anyway.
I've always kind of equated his voice to like a young Wallace Shawn, honestly.
Okay. Anyway, so the lady in charge.
Yeah, I read her as Gwyneth Paltrow, Dragon.
I think she's a combination of two. Well, first and foremost, you're right, Tika. She is Gwyneth Paltrow because of the whole when she's talking about her lady parts and everything. That's Gwyneth Paltrow's stupid.
No, totally, yeah.
See, Gwyneth Paltrow, she has. I mean, you know about Goop, right?
Do I know about Goop? Yes, Dragon. I know. I know too much about Goop.
Yeah, so long story short, kids, Gwyneth Paltrow has this stupid bizarre beauty products company called Goop, which is about.
It's a cult.
Really?
I mean, it's a cult in the same way that Jared Leto's weird, like, music thing is a cult. It's a Dragon cults take on different breeds. I would consider Goop to, at the very least, be a high-level MLM.
Yeah, I mean, it feels more like a cross between like a money cult and Stepford Wives cult. So it's kind of,
Uh-huh.
So regardless, we have Gwyneth Paltrow, who honestly, Gwyneth Paltrow to me, ultimately, is going to sound really harsh. Gwyneth Paltrow peaked after the first Iron Man movie. It was like she was really good, and a brief resurgence in Iron Man 3, and then just
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Because it's Iron Man 2, she's kind of the nag. Let's be honest.
Do you remember Shallow Hal?
Remember when Gwyneth?
Because I genuinely like that movie.
Yeah, no, seriously. You remember Gwyneth Paltrow when she had range? You remember Shallow Hal?
Shallow Hal was a genuinely good movie. I will vouch for that movie. And
it's good. It's good. It's not.
Granted, it's been a long time since I saw it, so it might not hold up.
Let me be fair. It's more okay than it is good, but it's okay. You know, it's okay.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
Regardless, the fact that we have a combination of what it seems, I think, obviously in parody Gwyneth Paltrow, I think in look, while you can say Gwyneth Paltrow, you would not be wrong. I think look-wise, she's dead on for Rosamund Pike.
No, I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah, especially from I Care a Lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of the combination there. Like, what's the most bloodthirsty corporate entity we could ever see? Rosamund Pike.
Well, I mean, Rosamund Pike, she's basically made a career out of playing characters like that. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what if we let's just mix like the two most bloodthirsty corporate entities we can? You got Rosamund Pike and you got Gwyneth Paltrow. Boom.
Right.
So again, the idea we have a white woman climbing the corporate ladder of fate, essentially, and she's all powerful because it's an unattainable goal. Like this is, I gotta admit, though, I think the writing was very on point all throughout this episode. We had a lot of really good lines. We had some good obscure gags, and then we had some really heady, kind of like Rick and Morty logic gags, like this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and then of course I love how Rick outsmarts her. He basically hacks Goldman Sachs, buys the company for trillions, and then gives it all back to Goldman Sachs because he likes to be in the middle.
Right.
They had the best Tiki. They had the best line in the episode.
Yes.
I see that look on you, that empty look, like when DiCaprio won the Oscar. We all saw his face.
Oh, yeah, no, totally, absolutely. That was
like,
great.
That really does, that's what I'm talking about the writing. It just summed it up perfectly. Like, yeah, that's the empty feeling
I honestly
of victory.
think with DiCaprio, Dragon, it's really like with him, like the look wasn't so much that he was disappointed in the Oscar. It was more so like, really, guys? I had to put myself through literal hell before you gave this to me. I crawled inside a dead fucking animal for you people.
Yeah, it's just DiCaprio just thinking to himself, like, really? The Bear movie? I got this for the Bear movie?
Yeah, no, totally.
I didn't get this for working with Spielberg?
Is nobody's favorite DiCaprio performance. Nobody's.
It's like this is what a pity Oscar feels like. I never in a million years, like not for Wall Street, not for The Departed, not for Catch Me If You Can, not for The Aviator, nothing really. All my work, and I get it for being wrestled by a bear.
Nominated for Django Unchained.
I get it for the R-rated Clint Howard movie. Yeah, you remember Clint Howard with the bear, right?
I will wager to say, Dragon. I will wager to say that I actually like Tom Hardy's performance in The Revenant more than Leo's. I don't know. He actually had some decent villain energy in that movie.
You know, Tom Hardy would have taken down that bear.
Oh God.
No, he would have. No, he's jacked, man. He actually knows karate too. Well, he knows some form of martial arts. I don't know if it's karate or if it was kung fu. He had like a tournament recently, like, and just kind of walked and got a award. Fun facts. So, let's talk about another great gag in the episode. Jerry, the assistant, Jerry the assistant, which we this is a freakazoid gag, and I loved it. I loved every second.
I just love the design of like anime gentleman Jerry.
Seriously, that looks really good. If Jerry were competent, he would look like that guy. Yeah. So just every time if I ever need like assistant Jerry, we can reuse this. And it's like you can feel the savings. Mm-hmm. God, that was really good. So I love when it came back. I
really hope that it becomes a running gag.
I wanted to as well. I really want that gag to come back. I think it's just brilliant. The idea too later on where like he lost the pants. It's like, oh wait, does the assistant Jerry thing? Like there we go. Feel the savings. And I love that it's literally the same animation because if you look, it's like he's wearing the Morty shirt even though he shouldn't wear it in that scene. So it's like it's still not a complete fix, but it's the next best thing. All right, so we learn Tiki. We learn the source of the fortune cookie. And what is the source of the fortune cookie?
Well, Dragon, I'm glad you asked because I have a fan theory.
Okay.
Do you remember how Slurm is made in Futurama?
Yes.
I think it's the same alien.
Nah.
I know, I'm just kidding, but it's very similar, right? It's essentially alien shit.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah. Yeah. So so basically it's fortune cookies are faces.
Oh my god.
Little Soylent Green's people for the kids.
Yes.
But no, seriously, yeah, it's the idea that I love the heady like sci-fi logic here, but I think it's like a Ligurian or something, and it eats chaos, or like random chaos of the universe, and craps out fortune cookies that essentially it basically it kind of like it reverses. It's like a gravity sort of thing as they describe it. It kind of like makes it pulls the unknown towards the known, like gravity, essentially making it kind of an uncontrollable force in the palm of your hand.
It is like the most Nolanized explanation of a fortune cookie ever.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Okay. Oh, of course, a reason this might be my favorite. I gotta be honest, like the not so good reason. I'm not. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying it's not like my most astute reason. It's just my more kind of gut reason. I like the episode.
The gadgets.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I had a feeling the gadgets are
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool
Like
throughout
we
the
went full
episode.
Inspector Gadget with Rick Sanchez as
I love
Exo,
that
and
he's
I.
just casually using Doc Ock arms throughout the episode with like no explanation.
Yeah, I think in the writers, or at least one of the writers, like uses the Inspector Gadget limb terminology, which I really appreciate. It's like we're using
Uh-huh.
the extendo arms and legs and everything. It's like, oh god, it was so cool.
I appreciate the subtle gag that he uses the Doc Ock arms to eat the Chinese food, but he doesn't respect Panda Express enough to use chopsticks, even though he's using the automatic arm. So he could use the chopsticks with the automatic
Oh,
arm.
absolutely, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just thought that was a very subtle jab at Panda Express.
No, it was good.
It's a subtle visual humor in the show sometimes. Anyways. Okay. So yeah, as we've already established, I think the third act is kind of a masterclass. I still don't think it's quite like Dragon. They're neck and neck, right? Like I think the last two episodes have had fantastic third act climaxes. I think the last episode might take the edge for me personally, but this is still really good.
Yeah, well, the climax of this episode. I mean, what I think what they nailed so perfectly here is that obviously we have the absurd incest tension throughout this, but oddly enough, that's where all the pathos and all the just like the remarkable tension is during. So it's kind of like the fantastic and the mundane principle with the Brad Bird and the Incredibles, as I kind of like to quote often. But it's sort of like you take that, but you apply it to kind of comedy standards, where it's like, it's almost the freakazoid logic. Let's have these insanely good actors who deliver ridiculous dialogue, but we applied it situationally here, where it's like, let's just take the most ridiculous idea we can, but let's amp it up to be like the climax of like the best plot of a Marvel movie, or like of like the most awesome like Mission Impossible climax you can think of. Like, you're seeing. I love, honestly. I think the editing is what makes it so magical. Here is the fact we have like this wormhole and we're cutting between it. We have this absurd thing where Jerry's mother is just an idiot, not picking up on any of this.
I honestly think the fact that the mother is so oblivious, like, it's a little frustrating, but I also think it very much adds to the comedy.
Sure. I'm just saying, when she's literally like, she's not piecing any of this together, when she's like, like spread eagle and like the end of the wormhole, and it's like, really nothing. I don't like, no stakes at all here.
Right.
Anyway, so the point being, like, the fact that Jerry is terrified, and like, Rick is like just trying to salvage, for selfish reasons, of course, trying to salvage the Ligurian so he can basically enhance his own fortune. Which, by the way, the action sequences where we had the unpredictable fortune cookies were awesome. Where he's like using against all the men, like to turn the cars and birds, and
You know what
like,
it reminded me of, Dragon? It reminded me of the climax of The Emperor's New Groove.
yeah, it's all, yeah, for sure, yeah. And there's also the religiously aware mechanical T-Rex.
Right.
I'm the son of God. And he's burst out
God.
like the Kool-Aid Man or something. But
no, it's from Power Rangers.
Oh, really? So it's literally the Power Rangers thing. Okay, there you go. I didn't want to make the leap because I knew nothing of Power Rangers, but I thought, like, it might be with the red on the thing. Maybe
just looked up an Easter egg video just to make sure.
That's like the red on the thing. Maybe that might be a Power Rangers thing, but that'd be a really, I don't know if they could do that, but apparently they did.
I'm pretty sure it's like from the original like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers run. Yeah.
I wonder if there's like no, I'm sorry, I just had a really absurd thought. What if the Power Rangers had almost like a VeggieTales thing, where it's like kind of a religious context to? If there's like a religious subtext to the Power Rangers, like there is, with
I mean,
overly
honestly, there. I don't want to go too deep into it, but like
I know
with the
nothing of it, so I
Zordon and
can't
all,
speak.
there's some readings you can make.
Anyway,
South Park literally modeled their version of Moses after Zordon.
huh? Well, there you go.
So there's that.
Anyway, so our climax, I love how we're editing between the tension here and Rick making the choice to save Jerry from mentally scarred incest and everything, or at least however that was going to go. But again, I just love how we're cutting like, okay, it's completely hopeless, and in this show we might stab the behemoth.
The incest baby exists. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, it exists. I mean, the best thing you get from the incest baby, again, very weird out of context, indulge me. The best thing you can get from that thing is that now anything is possible. And that's kind of like, hey, anything is possible, to the more horrifying, oh no, anything is possible.
Uh-huh.
Jerry could be his own grandpa.
Oh,
Thank goodness he's not. That's best saved for Futurama. So anyway, of course, saves him at the last minute. Then we have kind of our ending, which is the whole like, friend, you took away my immortality, man. He slaps Jerry, and we kind of play the moment very realistically. It's Jerry with this utterly pathetic moment, like, oh my god.
But Rick is genuinely sympathetic towards it, though.
Yeah, but he's also really uncomfortable. Like, oh god, he's never been there. He's been sad, but this is like really. He's like, I was expecting like a comedy slap. That's how it's supposed to go. This is like,
right.
Almost like breaking the fourth wall of the show, practically. Like, oh man, like Parnell's not taking the direction right.
Oh my god. But like I said, Dragon, I do very much read into the fact that, just per the logic of the fortune cookies, the rules that we established, the friendship is real, or else Rick wouldn't be as upset as he was.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That is definitely something I want to track. I truly think like some family battle lines are being drawn, especially given the Space Beth situation. By the way, it's nice to see Space Beth still just casually showing up after her big episode.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see like her relationship with the kids a little bit more, but yeah.
Well, I don't think the kids are very interested in having a relationship with her, but
now
no,
we gotta be careful.
I know, not like that. I know, but
yeah, right.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the post-credit scene, because I thought it was a nice little like interdimensional cable style slice of improv comedy, and
That's got to be them. Do you think they're going to draw the line this season? Like, we're not going to do interdimensional cable. We're just going to have interdimensional cable as stingers and gags here and there.
Honestly, Dragon, I think they need to do. I really wish they'd bring back the interdimensional cable. I don't know why they don't, because to me, it's just like. It's just as valid to this show as like The Simpsons doing an annual Treehouse of Horror.
Do you remember the last time we got interdimensional cable?
I'm pretty sure it was season 2, honestly.
Well, wait.
Because
okay,
season 3 we had Morty's Mind Benders.
So that was wasn't it Mind Blowers?
Mind Blowers, yeah.
Was that season 3 or 4? We had the Mind Blowers.
4.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not. You might be right. I wonder if it has been that long.
I'm pretty sure the last one we got was just season 1 and 2, Dragon. I honestly think they're overdue for one.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. I mean, if it's been like, let's say Mind Blowers counts. If we say that it's been since season 3, we're on 6. It's been 3 seasons. Yeah, probably overdue.
All right.
But yeah, so the zoo things, the fact we go to a regular zoo and it is seemingly we're not in space, we're just in a regular zoo, aren't we?
It appeared that way.
Yes, I think that's the gag.
I don't know.
I gotta admit, it's like they doubled down on a really weird joke. Like initially I'm thinking Jerry's the stupid guy who's eating the pellets, like because it came from a gumball machine. But then we have a gag to legitimize things. Like, no, it's really confusing at the zoo. But there's confusing, and then
the
there's
funniest
like
part of the thing is just Morty's observation that the ad is made for zebras, but why would the zebras be in the gift shop?
exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, that ad just goes really fucking off the rails really quick, and I love it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we have like mascots stabbing people. It's crazy.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're taking
Okay.
taking shots at like the zoo. Not nearly as exciting as it once was.
Now, Dragon, if they would have just gone to Animal Kingdom, then it would have been not a zoo. All right, that's it. That's all I got. That was my best material of the evening. All right, any final thoughts, Dragon? I really think it's great to see this show kind of in full-on comeback mode, man. I'm really stoked. Like after the last couple of seasons, it was kind of getting to the point where it's like, do we even really want to cover this episode by episode? But I don't know. I think these episodes are great so far. I'm very optimistic.
And we haven't had a clunker yet. I mean, the closest thing we had to a clunker was 2 was a little heady. So 2 is like the weak link of the chain, but still not bad.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, this is was a very solid episode, man. It was very well presented. We doubled down on the absurdity in spades, and it was quite fun.
Okay. All right. Have a good one, everyone. See y'all later.
Gives all the money to Goldman Sachs.